Hello, welcome to Melt and Mobility. We're going to get started just in a comfortable seat. I always encourage people to try to assess how their body feels, where their mind is, etc., because it's really hard for you to know if what you just did actually worked, right? And it's also just important to understand that literally every single thing that your body does, even me just lifting my arms and touching my head, it all starts here, right? Every single thing that happens in your body. So that connection and the ability for your own brain to make those neurological connections, to heal yourself, is really important. I'll try to remind you of that throughout this video. So just start with your palms facing up, take a few deep breaths. Always breathe in and out of your nose. Spend as much time as you need to assess. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because this is obviously a very specific video. You can do some gentle cow cats to wake up your body. Turn your palms down. Take an inhale and just lift your chin, your chest. Notice that my chest is pulling forward. So I'm actually pulling the pelvis forward in this motion. But then on the exhale, I'm going to round through the spine. Tuck the chin. Inhale forward. Shoulders down. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. 2 more. Use your breath. So this movement probably woke up some things that maybe you didn't even realize were bothering you. Remember that. First, starting with your shoulders, neck, head connections. So we're going to take the large soft ball and you're going to place that behind your right occipital ridge, which is right here. If you have long hair, the best thing to do is just take your hair, kind of pull it across really tight. That way it won't get caught up in the ball. Remember, you don't have to have specific balls. I have obviously a smaller softball. You could use a tennis ball. You could even use your first 2 fingers for this. So this is going to start right here. And as you roll with a flat palm, you're going to be rolling forward towards the facial muscles. So the idea is you're drawing fluid up, right? You're drawing fluid from the shoulders up through the neck muscles and ultimately up into the skull. And of course, you want to make sure you're drinking water before and after this class. Before and after any yoga class, any stretching, any exercise. It's the before and the after that really counts. And the 8 ounces is just a marker. Of course, you can drink more, but it's just to make sure that it is there for your body to use in its active state, in this hydrating state. And anytime you're using your muscles, even just simply what we're doing here, it is the perfect time for your connective tissue to be hydrated. Now take this ball to your jaw joint. You're going to go just around the jaw joint here, but I really want you to think about adding on a little jaw movement itself. So maybe try unhooking your jaw. Maybe move the jaw left and right. Open your mouth really wide. Since now we're going into, more of the left and right positions of the face and neck, notice if this feels one way and then a different way when you go over to the other side. Go to the temple area. So you don't want to push too hard on the soft part of the temple, but you can definitely push hard if you make the circle a little bit wider. And again, we're coming forward, a forward motion towards the face. And then your right eyebrow. Circle over the eyebrow. until you get right to the temple. Sorry, not temple, the middle of the head. And then, so right here, right, the pineal gland is right behind that area. I want you to push pretty deeply here. This is where, you know, when you're reading or concentrating or frowning, so much gets stuck right there. We're gonna switch out. So I always prop up my arm with my leg. You can do that too if it feels good. And again, we're just right here. We're just at the base of the skull. And then around your jaw joint. And I really recommend you explore right here. Open and closing the mouth, unhook your jaw, move your jaw left and right. And does this feel any different than your right side? Surprising how much tension can get stuck in this area. And then around your temple. So if you're gonna go wide circles, you can push as hard as it feels good to you. But if you're just gonna stay on the temple, ease off a little bit. And then around the top of that eyebrow ridge, and we'll just work our way across slowly. And then right in between the eyebrows and the gland that resides just behind that area. And then finally, we need to rinse this out. So rinsing is also a really big part of melt. So take your first two fingers and you're gonna flick outwards. So imagine your face had like a seam right in between it. You're gonna flick outwards. So it's a really, really light touch. And then go down through your cheekbones and then your cheeks and then your jawline. And then that's your face done. So some people call it the 50-second facelift. It takes a lot longer than 50 seconds, but you get the point, right? That you're bringing all this hydration forward into the connective tissue and muscles of the face. Coming into the shoulders and hands. So the first thing I like to show people is a really excellent way to release a lot of the pec muscles in here and the nerves that go down from the vertebra as it comes out through, C1 to C7. And then innervates down through your arms. So take your ball, turn your chin over to the right, and we're going to be going left and right underneath this left collarbone. You can push hard or not, it doesn't matter at all. But it's important to strongly turn the chin. You get a little bit of neck freedom there. Your chin to the left, same thing, just switch out. Good, and it's an important part of melt to assess. So you're going to take your forearms together, flatten out your hands. So they should look like a T. You can see mine do not look like a T. Some people, you end up looking like a W, but we're going to just see what our mobility is here. So try to get your arms up and down, keeping your elbows together so that you can really see, like, get to a point where you're just like completely stuck. It will change. It will all be very different after you melt your hands. So there are 5 points in the hand. There's position 1, These are all the 2s. This is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. We're going to go through all of those. Those are reflexology points. Now, not everyone wants to sit in this position. You can always sit in a comfortable seat. You can even do this, you know, on a kitchen counter. You can sit at the table and do this. Large softball, position number 1 in the center of the hand. Breathe in, press down, and release. And then each one of those knuckles, right, across the hand. So I'm going to just bring this down so it's really easy to see, but it's going to be each knuckle. Breathe in, breathe out. And then position 3, which is this thick thumb area. Position 4, which is the carpal. I'm twisting my arm so you can see the point. And then position 5 here. And then you keep your fingertips down, but you're going to glide left and right across the bottom of your hands. So notice I'm pivoting on my fingertips. And I'm essentially drawing from left to right at the bottom of the hand. This does not have to be a super hard pressure thing. Position number 3, that thick thumb area, you're going to do harder, faster pressure just on number 3. And then push down with a deep breath. Let it go. If you have a hard ball, like a full set or just a hard ball, you can do the second set with the hard ball. You don't have to. Position number 1, right in the center, breathe in. And then each knuckle. So when you're doing this, take a look at your hands. Can you see the knuckles as they're lifting? And then position 3, position 4, and position 5, that pinky line. So keeping the fingertips down, you glide left and right again. Position 3, harder, faster pressure just on number 3. Push down, deep breath, and release. So you have a little baby ball. I want you to get that little baby ball. It's a soft one, so it's the dark blue one. And you're going to put that between your index and your thumb, and you're going to squeeze it. So this is called knuckle decompression. You'll go over to the next little valley of fingers here and you'll squeeze. This should feel very good. This is so therapeutic for your knuckles. Go to the next. Squeeze, squeeze. And the next. And then we're going to be rinsing that out. So you're going to take your large soft ball and you're just going to go over each finger. So not the hand, but the actual finger only. And you're just going to give each one a few swipes. And then you're going to take that rinse and you're going to go from your fingertips. So I'm on my right side. I'm going to go all the way over to the right. You can sit or lay to do this. And you're going to go all the way to the elbow. Pick up the ball. Bring it back with you all the way to the elbow. Pick it up all the way to the elbow. Finish with light touch, friction all over the bottom of the hand. So you're just really, if this was a crayon, this is the analogy. If this was a crayon, your whole hand would be blue. Okay, the whole bottom of the hand would be blue. Going over to the left hand. So 5 points, starting with position 1. You're not giving this ball CPR. So just Gently push down and release. Go to the twos, all the knuckles. You can see, right? I kind of lean back and then I lean forward. I breathe in, I breathe out. That's just my technique so I don't stress out the top of the shoulders there. Position 3, thick thumb area. 4, 5, that pinky line. Keep your fingertips down and glide left and right. So I'm going to twist so you can see. So I'm just going the very base of the hand, like I'm drawing a smiley face from the end of that thumb area to the end of the pinky area. Position 3, harder, faster pressure on number 3. And push down, deep breath. And let that go. So if you have a hard ball, you can do the second set with the hard. Otherwise, second set should be with the soft ball. So position 1. Each knuckle, breath in, breath out. And then position 3, 4, 5. Hand down, glide left and right, pivoting on the fingertips. So relax the hand, keep that shoulder relaxed up there. Position 3, harder, faster pressure on number 3. And pushing down with a deep breath. Let that go. Baby ball between your index and your thumb. This is called knuckle decompression. Should feel lovely. And then over between that area there. Keep going across. Should feel so nice. Look at what's happening there with the hand and the knuckles. Finish off between pinky and ring. And then rinsing. So rinse just the fingers first, just a couple of swipes over each finger. And then fingertips to the elbow, one direction. Where do you want this to go? Think about it. One more time. Just really light pressure all over the bottom of the hand. Finishing off. This is called friction. And then let's see how we did. So you're gonna, zip your forearms back together just like we did earlier. And then with the forearms together, try to take your hands out like a T. See if you have a lot more mobility as you try to get your arms up and down. I mean, I know I do by inches. So hopefully you also feel that connection. It's great, right? It's super easy. It's just a couple of minutes, really. It gets easier the more times you do it, usually. And then we're going to go into the feet. I ask everyone to stand, take any socks off, stand hopefully on a bare floor. So with your feet directly underneath you, take a look at your feet real quick. A lot of times people stand and they don't even realize that they're actually standing with like one foot like an inch or two in front of the other. So just take a look. You want to make sure they're even. Close your eyes, shake out your arms, flick out your hands, close your eyes and just relax your shoulders. No hands on the hips. How do the feet feel? How about weight distribution? So think about the left foot versus the right foot, the front foot versus the back foot, the inside arches, the outside arches. Any pain? Do you have any pain in the feet, ankles, knees, hips, low back? All of that will be affected by the foot treatment. I add in proprioception here. Keeping the eyes closed, take a deep breath in and lift all 10 toes off the mat. And then drop all 10 toes. Do it again. And last time. So if you swayed at all forward and back when you lift the toes or drop the toes, that's something to be very mindful of, because it will also be very different once you melt the feet. Now, similar to the hands, you have 5 points. So the first point is position number 1. And I want you to just sit on that point for just a second. It should be right underneath there. Sit on it, kind of like stand, really feel your body weight on this position. Release it, and then like the hands, each knuckle. So remember, it's right here. It's not the toes. It's actually on the foot. And you're wanting to take a deep breath in and push down on that first big toe joint, and then on the second toe joint, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. And then position 3A is the center arch. 3B is about an inch further up. 4 is the outside arch of the foot. So see, you're right there, just in the middle, but on that outside arch. And then 4 is right underneath your ankle bone. And when you push down here, you'll start to do a glide. So remember the glide we did on the hand? Do the same thing, but this is the thickest fascia of the foot. You're going to be going all the way to the back of the heel. And then you're going to be, it's kind of like a fishtail movement. So you can kind of see my front of foot is down, but my ankle, right, it's getting a serious workout. It's great for flexibility of the ankle. Anyway, you go all the way back to position 5, harder, faster pressure on number 5. And then you push down all your weight, deep breath on 5, release. So your second set could be with the hard ball, but not if it causes pain and not if you're not sure where all the points are. So position 1, you can do the second set with the softball. Position 1, breath in. Now on the second set, I add on an indirect shear. So you're going to be pushing down onto that first toe joint. And then I want you to imagine you're squeezing and trying to pick up marbles, and then fan out your toes, stretching the toes, and then pick up marbles, stretch the toes. Do that about 5 times on each joint. Go to the second toe joint, find the pressure point, squeeze, stretch out. And the third, squeeze, stretch out. Fourth, fifth, and then over to position 3A, 3B, position 4, position 5. Here's that glide, left and right. And then we just glide that back to underneath your ankle bone. Harder, faster pressure here. And push down, deep breath. Let that go. Large softball rinse. We have 2 rinses for the foot. The first one, you're going to root down through your heel. You're going to go from your big toe to your pinky toe side. One direction. Big toe, pinky toe side. Just do that maybe 5, 6 times. And then the second rinse is a little bit more complicated because it does involve stepping your whole body forward, but you're basically going from the front of the foot and you walk it back to the back of the heel. One direction. Front of the foot, back of the heel. Just kind of kicking it back Try to keep the body weight fairly even, but you absolutely have to, the golden rule is one direction. You need this fluid to travel up the body, not just sit in the feet. And then light touch again, just that friction all over the bottom of the foot. And then we'll do that on the other foot. So left foot right in the center. Step on it. Feel your body weight on it, please. Release each knuckle. Breath in, breath out. Just take a peek. You should not see the blue ball ever. It's always on the foot itself, not on the toes. Position 3A, 3B, about an inch further up. Position 4, position 5. Very, very even pressure. You zigzag, also known as, the shear to the back of your heel. And then you slowly take this back. I'll show you what it looks like in the front, right? You slowly take it back to underneath your ankle bone, and then harder, faster pressure just on the spot under your ankle bone. Push down, deep breath. Let it go. Option, second set with the hard ball. But again, melt should never be about pain. None of this is about pain, ever. Position 1. And then again, when I get to that second toe, the second pressure points, right on that big toe joint, I'm going to pressure point, but then I'm going to squeeze and lift. Squeeze and spread. And then to the second toe joint. So again, these are all the number 2s. That's what they're called. Those are the 2s. Lift and squeeze. Just reflexology points. If you're interested, pick up a reflexology mat online. You can see where all of these correspond in the body. Go over to the third toe knuckle. Remember, none of this is on the toes. And the fourth. And the fifth. Go over to position 3A, center arch. 3B, an inch further up. 4 is the outside arch. 5 is under the ankle bone. Here's the glide, left and right. All the way to the back of the heel. And slowly back to underneath your ankle bone. Harder, faster pressure. Push down with a deep breath. Let it go. Softball, please. We have 2 rinses. And the first one, if you just root down through your heel, you go from the big toe to the pinky toe side. This is the third arch of the foot. So that's why we're going across, right to left, one direction, always with the softball. And then again, like just transferring the weight forward, you start from the front of the foot to the back of the heel. I just kind of kick it back, front to back, kick it back. Where do you want this to go? Think about it. Finish with that light touch, friction all over the bottom of the foot. Very light. And then just simply stand again and see how things are feeling after the foot treatment. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders. I usually just kind of shake out my arms. So the feet should feel really different right now. Lots of nerve endings down there, all innervated. How does everything else feel? Just go up your body. If something was bothering you in the beginning, how does it feel now? Just do a body scan. And then proprioception. So keep the eyes closed, lift all 10 toes, breathe in, and drop them, and lift them, and drop them, and one more time. Excellent. So from here, we're going to go into the roller, and I'm going to put you back over here so we can do the roller together. And we're going to start with the lower legs. So we just did the feet. It makes total sense. We would just go from lower legs all the way up. You also don't have any lymph nodes in your low legs. So it's really healthy for the immune system to do this. Drop your right ankle over your left ankle so that you can add a little bit of weight through the leg. Because obviously your lower legs, they're light. They're not as big as these, thighs. So turn your foot. This is the technique. Turn your foot to the left. Point it to center. Turn your foot to the right. Just keep doing that. You can see I'm just bending the knee, straightening the leg, etc. But your goal is to just be moving up, always moving up, because that's how your lymph system works. Your lymph system is a one-way valve system. So when it pops open due to, right, this fluid that's coming up, it's going to immediately close back. So when we are pushing, it's not going to fall back, right? Even with gravity, it's not going to fall all the way back down. Oh, there's Rupert. So at some point, you're going to get right underneath your calf, and that is going to be your soleus. Your soleus is polyarticulate. It goes over and attaches at your ankle and your knee. So that's two joints that are very, very active, right? They rely on each other for strength and flexibility. So that's where you're going to find a lot of lumps. And I want you to work on those lumps. And also, please make sure you keep your feet relaxed. If your feet are flexed right now, you are going to find very tight lower leg muscles. Keep moving that roller up. At some point, you should definitely be on your calf. And we want to just keep moving up. Keeping the feet relaxed, turning the leg left, center, and right. Keep going. At some point, you are probably right there at the top of the calf. And then we'll switch legs. So again, this kind of bouncing motion with the knee bending, turning the foot left, center, and right. If you don't find that you're going all the way up the lower leg, if things are getting kind of caught up, just use your other leg to move things around. Of course, if you come across lumps and you really want to go back and deal with those later, I really encourage that. If you have lumps there, just remember that is a constant tug of war that your body's having to compensate with. Think about when you comb your hair, if you come across a knot, you're going to get stuck, right? Everything gets stuck. So what do you have to do? You have to go in there, you're going to have to tease it out, you're going to have to work out the knot. It's the same thing on your muscles. Go ahead and bring it so that you're on your low calf. Keep going. just in so that you're right at the very top of the calf. The technique for hamstrings that I use is an out and in motion to create friction in the area of the hamstrings. And it's pulling on the skin, which is going to pull the fascia that literally wraps around the whole leg. So skip behind the knees. You can pick up your hips here if that gives you more mobility. You don't have to. It's going to be toes out, slide your legs out, toes in, pull your legs in. And essentially you're just going to be doing this all the way up to where your butt is. So where your hamstrings end up around the glutes. All the way, out, in, toes in, legs out, all the way up. And then we'll give the arms a bit of a break. We'll come on to the left side. You'll turn your roller so that you can put your right inner knee on. The first thing you'll do is just simply kick your knee. So the bone you feel is actually your tibia. And we're gonna just kind of give those ligaments around the knee a little bit of fluid, a little bit of love. And then, and this is only if you have the strength, otherwise you can stay here and roll all the way in and out. But if you can get up on your forearms, then you can roll all the way to the pubic bone and all the way back to the knee. That's the goal. That line, right? That connection from knee to the hip. I want you to notice any lumps, any tenderness, any tightness probably, you know, check, check, check. And then from here, we'll go outer knee. So you can turn that roller again, put your outer left knee on, and you're just gonna kick the knee here. This is a great thing to do. Again, it's just hydrating, you know, getting some fluids in there. Ligaments are not, they don't have a great blood source. They're typically pretty plastic fibers, right? I mean, they're not very malleable. And that's good, right? You want them to stabilize your knee. You can stay here or you can jump up on that left forearm, but if you're gonna roll, I don't want you going up and down the IT band. I want you just to hit where it inserts, which is right there. It's right at the side of the knee, just a little bit below. From here, I do a side stretch pressure point. So you can get your left outer hip. Everybody has the same hip dip right here where the greater trochanter comes in, takes an abrupt turn and locks into your hip socket. So I want that point on your roller so you get 2 for 1 here. I'm going to have you come down onto your rib cage, take your arms over your head. The 2 for 1 is you get a pressure point on that left hip. The weight of this leg is going to pull on all the connections, literally from the tippy top of that hip all the way down the lateral side of the leg. So that's so good for you. You don't even have to do anything. Gravity will just pull on the weight of the leg. Breathe. It's also, okay, so this is 3 for 1. This is also lateral flexion of the spine. So you do get a lot of stuff happening here on the spine. The breath, of course, is the neurological connection, calm things down. Roll onto your pubic bone. Hang out here for just a second. Take your hands down, push yourself up. That's such a great stretch. You can do that pretty much any time that you want the opening. I'll connect that later with some other things you can do on the roller. And take this left knee on. So the first thing I'll have you do is just kick the leg. That's it. Hinge motion, flexion, extension, blah, blah, blah. Then all the way in and out. If you can, on your forearms, all the way to the pubic bone, all the way back to the knee. Any difference there between the left and right leg? Outer right knee on. The first thing is just kick. That's it. Super easy. And you don't even have to get on your forearm, but if you want to, you're going to want to only be on the side knee. A little movement back and forth. And then your pressure point release. So remember this, because I'm going to give you a couple of other things that is so good to do in the evening, you know, once life settles down and you have a few moments to yourself, because it's really important to try to get movement through your spine. And this is lateral flexion, but of course, as I said, it's also a pressure point. It's a great stretch for just above the hip to down the leg. It's very helpful to breathe big, so you expand the rib cage. Ideally, you'd want to hold this for about a minute or more, especially if you're doing it on your own. And that's about 30 seconds or so. If you want longer, just pause and go longer. Hand down, hips down. Take a moment. And then place your hands down and come into the back of your pelvis. Starting on the left hip. So you need your arms behind you. Take your toes on the ground, knees together. And I have you windshield wipe your legs left to center. That is your piriformis. But we're going to walk it out. So you're going to take your roller, you're going to keep rocking left and right, but you're also going to walk it to the top of the hip, and then you're going to slowly roll down towards the sits bones, and you'll just keep exploring that. You know, you might be surprised of where you feel this when things are a little bit more tense. And then on that left piriformis, stick out your left leg, draw a big circle with the left leg in one direction. Circle in reverse. You're going to maybe hear some popping and clicking. That's all okay. Cross your left ankle over your right knee and go left to center. Over to the right. Toes down, knees together. You will go center and to the right. Any difference, left and right? See how you feel about exploring to the top of the hips and taking yourself back. Stay on your right butt. Do the big circle on your right side. Circle in reverse. any of this feels really good to you, you can do this stuff separately for longer. Across your right ankle over your left thigh, that opens up the piriformis. Lengthening it, you're now massaging it in its lengthened state. Give the arms a break again and come into a supported bridge and a supported legs up the wall pose. So remember, anything like this, it has to be on your pelvis. Your pelvis will be on the roller, not your lower back. Belly in, put your legs straight up to the ceiling. When I get here, I usually point and flex the feet, roll out the ankles, fan out the toes, etc. Everything is draining right here. Gravity is pulling. So I talked about how the limb system works. Well, now gravity's pulling all that stuff and it's bringing it through those channels towards the circulatory system. So this position, there's 3 positions I really encourage everyone to take at night. The first is that what I call banana pose, like a supported banana pose, where you're in that C-curve position on your side with the arms over the head. This is the second one. The third one will come in just a little bit when we take a spinal balance position, and that's for the big chest opener. So this helps to traction your lower back. We're going to use this for a hip flexor stretch, but you can hold this pose in the evening for anywhere, 5-10 minutes or so. Hug your right thigh into your right side. You're going to want to push your right ribs up to meet it. Once you make that connection, stretch your left leg far out in front of you and let gravity pull on the front of your hip. What's the point of this knee to chest? Breathe into it. That's all ascending colon, organs, and glands on that side. Again, I usually would say hold this for at least a minute. I personally, if you have tight hips, would hold it for 5 minutes. Big breathing. Use your core to take the legs back up. Stick your left ribs up. Let it connect to this left thigh. Hold it. Stretch your right leg far out, and then when it can't go any further, you just let gravity do the rest. Breathe into left side, that's descending colon, etc. And again, if I were you, I would pause and hold this for a solid 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's up to you. We're going to release that and take the feet to the ground. Lift up your hips. Take the roller away. Drop the hips. Sit up. The next thing is for your upper back. So I want you to be working in this space. That's going to be your thoracic spine. Basically from the base of your ribs to the top of the ribs. Place your bra line approximately on the roller. Hold your head the whole time. Elbows are going to be wide. The first thing you'll do is assess left and right. So your butt's on the ground. This is a lateral movement. Left and right is not a twist. So don't think like cross crawl, bicycle kind of thing. And then I'll have you, after that assessment, take your hips off the ground and roll about 3 inches forward and back. It's not a big movement at all. It's very controlled. Hold your head the whole time. And then from there, about another 3 inches. Now you'll feel your shoulder blades. So this again is just a short 3-4 inches of movement. And then finally, all the way up, you'll feel your upper traps. So just to the base of your cervical spine, not your neck. Tippy, tippy top of those shoulders, 3 inches down. And then come back down. When you get there, elbows are wide. You're going to rinse this out, core engaged if you need to connect here. And then super slow, come all the way to the top of the shoulders. Close your elbows, tuck your chin, and go as quickly as you can back to the base of the ribs. So open, 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 open. Exhale, bottom of the ribs. 3 more times. Hold your head the whole time. 2 more times. Good. So put your hips down. You probably rolled way off, but that's okay. You can adjust yourself. Put your hips down. How much movement do you have now when you try to move yourself left and right? I'm going to guess a lot more movement because this works. It's so amazing. Take your roller now and lay on it skull to tail. So make sure you're fully supported. Your head is supported, your butt's supported. Here's your third thing I'd love you to do at night. Open your chest. Don't do anything. Just close your eyes, breathe, let gravity do this. We'll move on. Starting with snow angels. So inhale your arms to the ceiling, fan out your fingers, stretch behind you, and then slowly bring your hands towards your hips. Inhale, open, lift. Exhale, arms to the hips. 3 more in that direction. Opposite direction. Hug yourself, right over left, squeeze. Open up your chest, left over right, squeeze. Open up your chest, couple more. And then spinal balance reaching. So notice my arm is totally out of the socket here. I'm reaching for my foot while the other arm reaches for the wall behind me. Inhale, exhale, switch. So you want the arms really far out of their sockets. Keep going. Coordinate with the breath. Reach. A big favorite for people with shoulder issues is right behind the armpit. So we're going to ditch the spinal balance and come on to the left side. Push yourself a little bit up so you can position the roller about 45 degrees. Put the back of the left armpit on, hold your head. And then what I want you to do is just nudge yourself forward and back. If you really want a lot more pressure, you can actually lift your hips and then go forward and back. But you're just behind the left armpit. You're kind of at a 45-degree angle. So like chest facing where the wall and the ceiling connect. Do it on the other side. Oh, actually, no. Before you do that, imagine like you're throwing a ball and you're on the same pressure point. Switch. So first, make sure your head is supported. You're right behind your right armpit. You can just shimmy back and forth, or you can actually lift your hips for more weight. And then from there, you want to imagine you're throwing a ball. Head. So finish off class by taking your legs, if you like, in Baddha Konasana, soles of feet together, knees wide. You don't have to. But you want to get this roller right at the skull, again, like you started. I always drape my arms over to hold it in place. Turn your chin over to the right as you exhale. Turn your chin over to the left. Again. Turn your chin to the right and just kind of nod your head like you're saying yes. Turn your chin to the left, nod your head like you're saying yes. Do a figure 8 here. Turn your chin to the right. Turn your chin to the left. Lay down. Think Shavasana, shoulders away from ears, palms facing up, and please just give yourself a few moments to feel your body. When you're finished with all this, wake yourself up gently, sit upright gently, and then finish with 8 ounces of water. Thank you so much. If you have questions, just let me know.